on, we need to talk about what just transpired while my co-host was asleep. My co-host was literally asleep while the NBA Finals finished because he didn't care. He already thought the NBA Finals was over during the Western and Eastern Conference Finals, and says the Denver Nuggets are officially NBA champions. And of course, Nikola Jokic did get the MVP honors, but people were literally making jokes the second after Denver won. So the Denver Nuggets are finally NBA champions, and it shows everyone to sleep. And then it says Nicola Fat Chicks Road to the NBA ring. 8 seed T Wolves with where they were missing Jalen McDaniels and Nas Reed. The 4 seed Suns where CP3 was injured and Ayton didn't want to be on that team, still on quit on his team. Played the 7 seed with a banged up AD and LeBron had that torn tendon. And then they played the 8 seed where they had a sick Caleb Martin who had killed it the whole playoffs before and laid an egg in the finals. Tyler Hero and Oladipo both got injured with season-ending injuries. People are asking, is this a boring
No,
and is this the easiest ring of all time?
no.
Because a lot of people like to discredit the Lakers and say that the bubble championship was the easiest ring of all time. People are putting this up there with the bubble championship. They're also putting it up there with the Golden State Warriors championship, the first one that they won where everyone got injured, and also the ones they won with Kevin Durant, saying that that's kind of the top in the group of the top 5 easiest NBA championships ever. Because I mean, that is kind of crazy. You play a couple playing teams. You play a playing team in the Western Conference Final that had to win a playing tournament to make it, and then you actually made a playing team that lost their in the playing tournament and won their second game and was the 8 seed. So to be the number 1 seed in the West and play the 8 seed playing team in the East for the championship, people are putting this up there as the easiest championship in NBA history. Do you believe that fans are correct, hating, or wrong, or
Hayden's.
what are you thinking?
Hating. They hating. I mean, like the easiest road had to be every time the Warriors won, because they took one season they took out Kevin Love and they took out Kyrie. Kyrie and Kevin Love was taken out. I remember
Yeah, I
specifically.
remember Kelly Olynyk pulled out Kevin Love's arm out of socket,
Yes,
and then I think Kyrie got hurt in the Eastern Conference Finals before the NBA Finals.
had
So
LeBron James
LeBron
doing it
was
all
out
by
there.
himself.
LeBron's second best player on that team was Matthew Dellavedova,
True, and then I mean, I understand with the whole bubble
and then the
situation.
Kevin Durant straight up loading up where they basically had like 5 All-Stars in their starting lineup with
And
like 3 All-Stars coming off the bench where they had no competition and basically went through the thing. This is basically how it ended up for the Denver Nuggets this year. They basically had no competition. I mean, the T-Wolves were trash. Everyone know that. The Suns were imploding. They had players that didn't even want to play for that coach or anymore, and the coach got fired because he lost the locker room. You had played the Lakers, who were a playing team where Anthony Davis is always hurt or not hurt, depending on which foot he lands on. And then you had LeBron's old self playing with a torn tendon. And then you play Jimmy Butler, where his second and third best player are injured. What do you think? Do you think this is going to be remembered as just Jokic domination with the side of Murray, or is this just going to be like a yawn fest?
This is gonna be a yawn fest. This is not gonna be a whole Tim Duncan and the Spurs, back to back dynasty time, because they're not going. The
They're not
only
going back to
they're
back.
not going back to back. I
You
mean,
putting
back.
that now? You putting your
I'm putting
flag in
that.
now?
I'm putting that now because I mean I remember back in the day, Tim Duncan and Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. Manu Ginobili, he got injured, but he was always a warrior. He had played the game with a broken nose
Yep.
and a face mask. But with the Denver Nuggets, I mean you got Michael Porter Jr. He has back problems. He's given good every like 5 years.
Aaron Gordon.
Then you got Aaron Gordon. He's all right. He's learning. He's the only one that's only one that's always gonna be there. Jokic is always gonna be there. The point guard, what's his name?
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. He's always injured.
Yeah, I mean he was injured the last couple of years because he tore his knee up, but before that he was really good, and he had a really good postseason this year.
This is the first season
Uh,
that this is the first
they
season
all
they all
healthy.
was like semi healthy enough to finish the season.
They were definitely healthier than all the other teams. But it just goes to show you that health always does play a big factor in the playoffs and sometimes the NBA Finals. I don't know. I don't know what to think on this one. This was kind of boring. I don't think they'll repeat. I think Denver will be able to keep most of their team together. You know, they had a kind of unique lineup where they kind of played with a point guard, a shooting guard, two power forwards, and a center. Because you know Michael Porter Jr. is like 6'10", and Aaron Gordon's like 6'9", 6'10". So they basically played since Aaron Gordon's athletic and Michael Porter Jr. is pretty athletic. You know they kind of big bodied everyone with them having two power forwards and then Jokic big self at center. So,
Man,
you know, it's kind of a throwback to the old ways where it's just the big bodies kind of inserted their dominance. You know, sometimes people ain't ready for the big bodies. Just ask my co-host in the post.
man, stop
You know,
playing,
Mr.
man.
Barbecue Chicken, you know, he tried to guard me in the post and broke his Apple Watch. It
You
was
broke it.
very unfortunate.
Man, I just gotta
You know,
say,
some people ain't ready to guard the post like that, and we see a lot of the NBA teams are very thin, very frail. Frail. You know, Victor Wembanyama definitely can't guard Jokic or a lot of any of the thick centers. There's not that many of them. But do you think that Jokic being the dominant one with his thick self, is that gonna force the NBA to try to get real deal big man players back playing at a high level?
nah, this ain't gonna start no whole little Warriors thing where like to change the game of the basketball. They're not going back boring. NBA is trying to keep it high scoring. They trying to score at least 120 points a game, 130 points a game on the scoreboard
So
to get people
he's not
watching.
Tim Duncan 2.0, and he's not making the big man come back.
Nah, he's not making a big man comeback. But I also want to say, speaking of big man coming back, shout out to Thomas Bryant, DeAndre Jordan, KCP,
Jeff Green,
Jeff Green
Ish Smith.
for winning the ring.
Yeah, they all won a ring. And Bruce Brown, man. Bruce Brown, who's
Oh
a
yeah,
little annoying guy.
he's on
You
every
know,
team.
I liked watching him when he played for Brooklyn, and then he got traded to Denver whenever they blew up the team and Kevin Durant and Kyrie left. And he absolutely killed it. He was the best player on their bench for Denver. And, you know, you even saw when he was playing with KD and Kyrie, he had the ball in his hands as basically the point guard and would, you know, pass to them. So you even saw him have the ball in his hands a lot. He made a lot of effort plays, a lot of steals, a lot of dive for balls. He's really the unsung hero, especially with their rookie player.
Oh yeah,
What's it?
him, Brennan, like
Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown.
Braun.
Yeah, Bruce Brown is actually one of the first. He's
He
like,
won a title with Kansas
yeah,
last year in college, and then he won an NBA championship here. I think they said that he was the fourth or fifth player
to ever do
in
that
history to go from winning a college title to NBA title the
in the
next
same
year.
next year. Yeah, is rare. It doesn't really happen that often. But shout out to the Denver Nuggets. I mean, Miami Heat. They're a good team. I always gotta say, not Victor Oladipo,
I
Bam
see.
Adebayo. He's not as like he can play center, but he's a power forward. Just
He
put him at
really
power
needs a
forward.
center next to him. He would kill it at power forward because most teams would not have a poor power forward to guard him if they had a real center. I think Miami Heat need to retool.
Hmm.
I mean, with all the undrafted guys playing well, Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent, Struess was kind of up and down. Caleb Martin was good. I think if they keep this core together and literally add a center, or like they're rumored to add Kyrie, I'm not Kyrie, I'm sorry, Dame Lillard, I think this team could go to the top. So we'll definitely see what's going on with that. And we're going to keep you up to date and in tune with what's going on in this NBA offseason.